The assassin's reputation. The name Draken Voss echoed through the galaxy with a weight that made even the most hardened warriors shiver. He was an enigma, a shadow in the dark corners of the universe, a deadly assassin who could slip through any security system, bypass any defense, and eliminate any target without leaving a trace. His kill count was a testament to his unmatched skill. Warlords, political leaders, alien overlords, no one was beyond his reach. His reputation had, grown beyond the whispers of criminals, reaching the highest echelons of galactic power. Draken never failed. His approach was methodical, clinical. Every mission, every target was a puzzle to be solved with cold, calculating precision. He studied his victims, learned their habits, understood their weaknesses. It was said that no one could evade him. Not for long. Today, as he boarded his personal starship, the Vengeance, Draken was briefed on his next target, a human, Lieutenant Commander Ava Harris. To an assassin like him, the idea of a human target was almost laughable. Humans were considered unpredictable, emotional, and far too straightforward in their methods. But the Veil, the mysterious syndicate that employed Draken, had given him a clear order. Eliminate Ava Harris, no questions asked. He felt the familiar rush of adrenaline as the ship's engines roared to life, but there was no excitement. This was just another mission, another name on a list. Ava Harris would be no different from the countless others who had already met their end at Draken's hand. As the stars streaked by in hyperspace, Draken's mind focused solely on his objective, unaware that this mission would not be as simple as the others. He would soon face an adversary who would challenge him in ways he never imagined. The human out of place Lieutenant Commander Ava Harris had never been one to shy away from danger. As a rising star in the United Earth Fleet, she had faced her share of harrowing battles against alien threats, hostile planets, and galactic conflicts. Yet, even with all her experience, the intelligence briefing that arrived on her terminal that fateful day sent a chill down her spine. The name Draken Voss. To most, it was just a legend, a terrifying myth whispered in dark corners of the galaxy. But to Ava, it was a grim reality. She had read the reports, studied the countless murders, and heard the stories of how Draken had brought entire empires to their knees. No one had ever survived his hunts. Why her? Ava couldn't answer that question. She had no political power, no criminal connections, and no particular notoriety. But someone in the shadows of the galaxy had targeted her, and now Draken Voss was coming to end her life. It was a bitter irony. She had dedicated her career to defending humanity from extraterrestrial threats, only to become the prey of a galaxy's most dangerous assassin. As she stared at the transmission, her mind began to work. If there was one thing she had learned during her career, it was that humans had a unique edge in the galaxy, their ability to adapt. Ava wasn't about to wait around for Draken to kill her. She would fight back. It wouldn't be with brute force. She was no match for Draken's physical prowess. But she had something far more valuable, her mind. Humans might not have the advanced technology or natural strength of the galaxy's other species, but they had an uncanny ability to outthink their enemies. Ava knew she would have to rely on that to survive. The chase begins. Draken's starship cut through the cold vacuum of space, heading toward the remote human outpost on the edge of the galaxy. The planet below was a quiet, desolate world, a perfect place for an assassin to land undetected. His ship's cloaking systems would render him invisible to any sensors, allowing him to approach the target without raising suspicion. Draken had done this countless times before, but something about this mission gnawed at him. The feeling of unease was subtle, but it was there. He pushed it aside. There was no place for doubt in his mind. As he descended to the planet's surface, he activated his cloaking suit, which rendered him nearly invisible to the naked eye. His weapons were always at the ready, but today he didn't anticipate needing them. His target, Ava Harris, was just another human. He had taken down humans before, and they were always easy to track. They didn't think the way aliens did, and that made them predictable. At least that's what he thought. However, as he touched down and began his silent hunt, Draken soon realized that things weren't going as planned. There was something different about this human. The air seemed charged with tension, as if the planet itself was watching him. The moment he set foot on the ground, he realized that Ava had been preparing. Traps were already set, and his every move seemed to trigger new obstacles. The ground around him shimmered as holographic decoys sprang to life, and strange energy pulses threw off his sensors. This wasn't a simple hunt. It was a game. Ava had anticipated his every step. She had studied Draken's methods, understood his patterns, and used them against him. He was no longer the hunter. He was the one being hunted. A battle of wits. Draken's frustration grew with each passing minute. He had been led into a maze of false trails, decoys, and distractions. Ava's traps were unlike anything he had encountered before. They weren't just physical. They were psychological, designed to unsettle him, to make him question his own senses. Draken was used to being in control, to being the one who made the decisions. But here, he was constantly reacting, always a step behind. Ava's intelligence was her greatest weapon. Every move she made was calculated, precise, and designed to keep Draken off balance. She had learned everything she could about him, his weaknesses, his habits, and his patterns, and used that knowledge to her advantage. She didn't rely on brute strength or advanced technology. She relied on her ability to think several steps ahead, to outsmart her opponent before he even realized what was happening. Draken had thought this would be a simple kill, but as the hours passed, he found himself in a precarious situation. His resources were dwindling, and the traps Ava had set were taking a toll on his mind. He wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. He was fighting for his reputation, his pride, and his very life. The final showdown. Draken had been led into a crumbling industrial complex at the heart of the planet's forgotten ruins. The place was a labyrinth of twisted metal and broken machinery, the perfect environment for Ava to set her final trap. The moment he stepped inside, Draken felt the weight of the situation. The atmosphere was thick with tension, and the air seemed charged with energy. Ava's voice crackled through his comm link. "You've made it this far, but this is where it ends." Draken's eyes narrowed. He was closing in on her, but she was waiting for him. This wasn't a victory for her, it was a statement. The moment he rounded the corner, he was caught in her trap. Gravity anomalies pulsed around him, disorienting his movements and pulling him off balance. The chamber was designed to negate his physical advantages, turning his skills into liabilities. As Draken struggled to regain control, Ava activated her neural disruptor. Waves of electromagnetic energy flooded his brain, sending him to the ground, his body racked with spasms. For the first time in his career, Draken Voss felt vulnerable. Ava stood over him, weapon drawn. "I'm not like the others you've killed. I think faster, I fight smarter." A new era with Draken's capture, Ava had done the impossible. She had outsmarted the galaxy's deadliest assassin. The news of Draken's defeat spread like wildfire across the galaxy. His reign of terror was over, and in its place stood a new era, a human era. The galaxy had long underestimated humanity's potential, but now, Ava Harris had proven that humans were not just survivors. They were a force to be reckoned with. Ava stood before the assembled leaders of the United Earth. Fleet Draken's fate sealed. Her victory wasn't just personal. It was symbolic of the strength and ingenuity of the human race. Ava knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy would soon come to realize that humans were not to be underestimated. And the next time, an assassin came hunting. They might find themselves on the receiving end of a trap they could never escape. The galaxy would never be the same.